This just must be the season. It is money season. The guest that we have on today is the one and only Kaleel and his partner, Andre from Amped Capital Inc. Guys, I don't know who's out there right now who does not need access to capital. Okay. And if you do not need access to capital, call me because I need access to capital. These brothers today are going to be telling us more about their company, about their visions, about their mission, and just how you all, as small business owners, could connect with them to be able to get access to the funds you need. Today on the Empower Hour.
I think this is me.
Welcome to the Empower Hour. We're bringing power to the people because the people have the power. This squad's going to entertain, enlighten, and empower y'all. I'm Queen Kaya, joined by Pharaoh Hammond Freeman and Gina the Great. But before we do anything else, like always, we're going to bless this show and our kings and queens listening.
Oh, Shay, I am so grateful to life. I'm so grateful to God, our creator, and I'm grateful to all our ancestors who are present here with us right now and who are in the atmosphere, just guiding and controlling what we do. And I just ask that today's show, let it be very uplifting, let it be entertaining, let it be fun. Most importantly, let it be empowering for each and every one of our listeners as we send out that spirit of love, we send out that spirit of light, unity, strength, great health, peace, wealth, and joy to each and every one of our listeners today. Hotep, amen, ashe, ayibobo.
Ashe, ashe, amen, amen.
How you guys doing this week, this morning, how is everything, Gina the Great?
Listen, you know what? This week was a good week.
All right, good. Dr. Joan, how was your week? What's going on your side of the universe?
My side of the universe is looking very light and bright.
Good stuff. Awesome, Dr. Jones. So good. Glad to hear about the evolution and things moving forward in your for you.
Yes.
Queen Kaya, what's the word on your side?
I'm gonna tell you now. Last week was transformative and it was enlightening and empowering. And this week, I am happy that I put on my pants. That's as good as it gets. So I'm just letting myself. I'm just do it at my own pace.
I hear that, yo. So last but very far from least, I've been going through it, just because there was some backing out. I can't even remember to what extent I've been telling you guys, but it was all kind of backing out that happened at our retreat while I was away that I've been just coasting and dealing with. And it's a daily challenge, right? Just in terms of staying positive, staying zen, figuring everything happens for a reason. As we're going into our break, this is the season. We got to be mindful and pay attention to how you feel. That's the most important part. We'll be back.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people, y'all.
So like I had mentioned at the top of the show, money matters, guys. We're going through it as a community. We have ideas, we have visions, we have things that we're trying to accomplish. Money makes the world go round, guys. And I am excited to have these two guests that are blessing us today. So we have our brother Kaleel and we have our brother Andre. Kaleel is the CEO. Andre is the president of Amped Capital Inc. And they're here to share. They're here to let us know a little bit more about themselves, about their company, and how they could connect to you all in terms of members of the community. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here today on the Empower Hour.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure. So this is our segment that we call Parlay with the People, where we like to create a space for members of the community to be able to connect. And again, I am grateful for having you guys as members of the OFC. I hear only positive reviews and all kind of positive things. And I thank you guys as well for contributing within the group. We have an active group. We have a WhatsApp group where, we communicate, we share, we get to know each other. And you guys are always sharing great tips and tricks and engagement with the community. So we appreciate what you are doing.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so before we dive into the business, I'd like to give you guys an opportunity to introduce yourselves and let the community get to know who you guys are on a personal. So who goes first?
I'll go first. That's fine. So yeah, my name's Andre. I'm 38 years old. I'm a father, husband, and that's what I am, at my core. I just love my family, love taking care of them, and it's kind of what inspired me to venture out and become an entrepreneur. I love to joke, I love to laugh, I love to troll, I love to do all that stuff but when business comes around, I like to be a little bit more honed in and serious and focused. So that's a little bit about me.
Amazing. Thank you, my brother and brother Kaleel.
Yes, so Kaleel, John, and I'm a father of two, husband, entrepreneur, creative, and basically, I love helping businesses. I love helping people. I love giving advice in regards to, helping individuals excel. That's kind of what prompted me on this journey. Yeah.
Very right. So now, when you say you're creative, can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a writer. I'm an author of a book called The Black Book of Poetry. It can be purchased on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and so forth. Best-selling author. So I was on the top of the list for poetry in Canada for a few months. It's
Nice.
been selling pretty well. I perform every once in a while, spoken word. So that's the creative side. I design, I do a bunch of stuff.
Okay. No, and
Yeah.
you see, I wanted to elaborate on that because just again, so our audience knows that you guys are real people. Like you guys know, like you're in a position where you could help a lot, you could do a lot of things, but you guys are people just like everybody else. And the fact you have this artistic background as well, I almost want to say it's uncommon, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a lot of people that I meet in the domain of finance, like they come across a lot like sticklers, for lack of a better term. You don't really find a lot of people who are into that domain who are also into arts and creativity and making different things. So I find that really unique, and I find it really awesome. Like, and again, it allows you to connect with the community on a different level, and you could resonate with almost everybody because now you're able to talk to the average artist and you know what it's like on the come up as an artist,
Very true.
to the established business owner who's looking to expand.
Right. Definitely. I feel that there are a lot of people out there, whether they are closet artists or, they put their stuff out there. I've seen them,
Mm.
it's a means of release because, this type of industry could be a little stressful or very rigorous. It's good to have outlets even for your mental health, right?
Talk about it.
So,
Yep.
yeah. So
Mm.
that's what it is for me.
Now, so let's get into the business. So first, so Amped Capital. So let's talk a little bit about the background. How long has it been existing, and what was the inspiration?
Well, it's been existing since 2021 was its inception. There wasn't a lot of, I guess, movement during that time,
COVID.
COVID and so forth. So it was just there on the back burner every once in a while, talk to some merchants and so forth. But it wasn't until the ending of last year where we kind of dialed in. We both have experience in the industry. So it was just a pivot for us to kind of try to do it on our own. Since that time till this time, we've been helping merchants get access to funding, which is something that we love to do. A lot of businesses, they need quick cash. A lot of the banks have been tightening their grip on their lending
Yeah.
due to various reasons and the types of businesses that they lend to. So, there are many alternative lenders, private lenders out there that are willing to put up their cash at a more expensive rate than the banks. I'm
Understandably.
not going to sugarcoat that. It's going to be a little more expensive as the products are not collateralized, as the banks would generally require collateral.
Okay.
So, yeah, embarked on this journey to help people. It's been around since 2021. Effectively, we've been going hard at it since the ending of 2022. Yeah, that's my take on it. Andre could definitely chime in there.
Oh yeah. So like Kaleel said, since 2021, and the crazy thing is Kaleel started the business based off of a conversation we had about, we could probably do this for ourselves, and
I like
we
that.
were working at this place that when you start really tallying the amount of revenue you bring in for the company, you start looking at what you're taking home. And that was the main motivator for me. I was like, okay, I'm able to generate millions of dollars for a company why am I not doing it for myself? Where I can get more of the spread. So I had this conversation with Kaleel, and unfortunately, my mother passed away not too long after that conversation, and I totally forgot we even had this conversation. And then, I started pushing for a salary increase where I was, because I was like the top rep in my company. I was generating the most income in the company, and that's no cap. That was just facts. I was just generating all of the income, and I was trying to get a significant increase based on that alone. Anyone in sales knows that you make at least 10 to 30% of revenue, right? And we weren't even getting anything close to that. So I was, advocating for that. I got a meeting with one of the execs, and he started giving us the corporate runaround. Well, we know where you're coming from, but they give you that little intro, and I already knew this wasn't going to go where I wanted it to go. And I thank God, because he mentioned something that actually re-sparked an idea. And he's like, I know you don't get as much as our partners, that bring deals in independently. And it was like a stopping on the brakes real hard. I was like, wait a minute, what? So I was like, I went and had a conversation with Kaleel. I'm like, Kaleel, man, I think we need to do this, man. I think we need to really start our own brokering. He's like, bro, I already got it.
It's like, I've
been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you to like come back and like, let's do this. So like, that's like, I'm going to say December of 2022.
It's like the ending of November,
November, December, around that time. Because one of the things that sparked the conversations we had, someone from my particular church here in Toronto, he found out what I did. He wanted to get involved. And I said, no, it's not like that. I work for a company. He's like, so why aren't you doing this for yourself? So he was kind of pushing us to really, explore this. So we basically had a meeting together. We had an investor that got involved. And so that opened the door for us to, actually start our company. So
man, I love that. I love those success stories. And you see, I tell people all the time, especially on this show, we talk a lot of spirituality. We talk about things, next level things here. This is the Empower Hour. And we remind people all the time that contrast gives birth to opportunities. So the fact that you weren't happy in your current position, and you became uncomfortable, like that discomfort, it's like, that's what we have to pay attention to. And a lot of times, unfortunately, as a community, we get uncomfortable and we become complacent. Sometimes we just fall back and we live in that state of discomfort, which then creates dis-ease, which then a lot of times people transcend. And by the way, condolences for your mom. But as a people, we need to understand that first of all, we're meant to live, we're meant to be happy, we're meant to feel good. And anytime life is sending you something that's creating discomfort, take that as a sign. Take a step back and assess, like, okay, what am I doing? What am I repeatedly doing that's just not working out? What is life trying to show me? It's not just punishing you. Life is not ever just punishing you. It's never doing that. It's always to show you something.
Always a purpose.
It's always for a purpose, and there's so many things came to my mind while you're speaking, because then we also have to look at the fact that we know that, as Rich Dad Poor Dad explains, as an employee, no matter how awesome you are, you'll always have that ceiling. And so you guys took that leap of faith, so to speak, to be able to launch something that you now have the control. You could now determine, like, if I want to make $1 million this year, it depends on how hard I grind. But it's like, I have that freedom. I have that ability to make that happen. So congratulations to that. Kudos to both you guys for, just being inspired and for doing the do. And I also want to commend you guys as being brothers, men, husbands in the community, and working together, because again, as a community, we have issues where, like, it's hard to be able to see eye to eye with your fellow man. And the fact that you guys are able to work together and to build something, what you guys have done, again, kudos and congrats to that, for setting that example.
Thank you. It's a matter of knowing your strengths, right? And playing off each other's strengths. So, Andre specializes in what he specializes in, and I specialize in what I specialize in. And we're able to work and have a synergy to kind of play off each other. And we're not afraid to tell each other the truth. We've been friends for years, like since we were in our teens, almost.
Over 20 years.
Nice.
5 years, about.
Yeah. We've been through a lot together. So, like, business is just like, okay, so it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure, and it's only up from here.
So walk me through the process. So first of all, do you only do business loans? Do you do personal loans? If I am an entrepreneur, what do I need to know before coming to you guys? What are the do's and don'ts? And what type of things can you finance and what type of things can you not finance? So our listeners right now will know if they should be calling you or if they're out the loop.
Right. Just to start off, we deal with business loans primarily in Canada. We have the ability to deal with personal loans in the US, but that's not our primary focus. We're primarily focused on Canada. It's not to say that if a deal from the US comes along that we won't handle it, but our focus, our growth projections, our model is focused on Canada at this time. So while we do deal with startups in a sense that it would be a startup that would be post-revenue, not pre-revenue. So a business would have to be in business for at least a minimum of 6 months operating, and the business would have to be generating a minimum of $10,000 per month. So that's one of the aspects that lenders look for is the time in business and the revenue. There are stipulations with that as well, stuff that, a file could be declined for. I'll let Andre elaborate on that.
Yeah. So there's, the obvious things that, could render a file to be declined, like if we have bankruptcy, Canada Revenue Agency issues or CRA issues, not filing your taxes, a low credit score, things like this. Also like NSF, missed payments. Those are generally the things that could really affect your turnout. But that is the value that we bring to the table. This is kind of where we segue in, because you're dealing with people that, when I say people, I mean us, Amp Capital, you're dealing with a direct representative who hears your story, could understand, could sympathize where you're coming from. If you have bankruptcy or if you have CRA issues, and we have one client right now that we're actively trying to fund that has CRA issues, but we know her story. And so now we're able to act as advocates on her behalf. And when we present the deal, we already have the trust with the lenders, and we could kind of paint a good picture for that person so that they can get the working capital they need.
Just take a quick positive cause just to shout out our homegirls, Kemba and Andrea from Keen Real Estate Group. Whenever you're thinking real estate, whenever you're thinking investments, whenever you're thinking about planning for the long term, think Keen Real Estate Group. They're generating wealth for generations. KeenGroup.ca. If your goal is to purchase a car and to make the process as simple as possible, just get a car broker, guys. You just get a car broker. Big shout out to our homeboy, Hamsdale Jacques, the owner of hjcourtierauto.com. That's HJCOURTIERAUTO.com. If you're a small to medium-sized business and you're getting started and you're ready to go to the next level, what do you need? You need a phone line and you need a website. Think Mainstream Digicom. They got all your telecommunication needs checked. MainstreamDigicom.com. You're trying to get out on the web. You're trying to understand how to navigate through ads. Check out Java Logics for all your marketing, your digital marketing. Where would we be without Preston? I don't even know. Check out Java Logics. I give thanks to Preston for what he's done for the OFC. The amount of positive reviews we've gotten from all his referrals, we're proud to stand behind his work. Check out javalogics.com. No, it's not just because he's my brother. It's because you can't talk hip-hop in Montreal without saying M City Solo. Guys, check out his latest project, In My Fields, available on mcitysolo.com. If it's not one of the hardest new EPs to hit Montreal, come and let me know. You already know. It's your boy, Pharaoh, bigging up, mcitysolo.com. Keeping the culture alive. I gotta give thanks to West Can Folk Performing Company. For the last 40 years plus, they've been promoting our culture through song, drum, and dance, educating youth, the children, the seniors. Just check them out, westcanfolk.com.
Girl, what are you cooking?
My curry chicken.
Ooh, you're burning it.
Oh, gosh, it looks so...
It's okay, girl. You need the Curry House. They have the best Caribbean food in town. 2 locations in Montreal, West Island, and Côte-Neige. For more information, follow Caribbean Curry House, MTL. Don't forget to mention the Empower Hour for your 10% discount.
So, who placed in the order?
Me.
DeVito, WizKid, Burna Boy. Those are just some of the big names that's blessed Montreal thanks to Afrobeats Montreal. Definitely check out Afrobeats MTL for all concerts, show listings, everything that has to do with Afrobeats in the city. Check out Afrobeats MTL. One full circle. We are the Melanated Community Resource Hub and Network. What does that mean? We're here for each other. People underestimate, one, the value of relationship. When you know a person and you could actually, like you guys said, we could connect with you, you could understand where we're coming from. We're not just numbers to you, like, you know, we're not just like a code or a social security number. You actually have the time to engage and to build. There's huge value in that. So I always try to encourage people to connect with people, get to know who they are, build these kind of relationships, because you never really know. You could have an opportunity to connect with somebody who could help to finance you in the future.
Exactly.
Sure.
And then we could also negotiate on your behalf, because for us, you said it, we could come into this industry and just be numbers focused and just look to make a deal and get paid and, you know, upsell and get paid. But one thing I've learned, you know, working at these companies is that when you emphasize relationships, right, you're creating an environment where that person keeps coming back. You're constantly giving them value, and in return, you're benefiting from that. And it's long term, right? And then there's word of mouth, and then, you know, the word gets out that we're offering a good service, and everyone's successful in that situation. You know, there's even situations where we tell people it's probably not the best time to borrow money right now. You know, because it's not all about just making money off of people.
Right. Yeah.
This is all about long-term sustainability.
Exactly.
When it comes to this industry.
Your goal is you want the person to have the capacity to pay you back. It's not just matter just getting the loan out. It's actually getting the loan out, assessing that person, building with that person, and ensuring they're paying that money back so that the one that could go back out again. So a win across the board, and it's logical. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely. We're advocating for the merchant at the end of the day. They're our client. So we're trying to do what's in their best interest. If they're going to take a loan, let's say they were offered a loan that was, let's say, 30,000, and they make 30,000, but the other financial issues might prevent them from sustaining that loan. One, a lot of the lenders that we deal with may say, okay, we're not going to lend up to the max, you know, but we kind of say, like, we don't want the loan to hurt your business.
Exactly.
Because that would be predatory, you know, so we don't want the loan to put them in a position that their business is going to suffer, where it affects their cash flow. We want this to be able to be like a cash injection that would, you know, help them get inventory that would increase their bottom line, you know, or equipment that would help them, you know, ramp up production. So that's the type of avenue we kind of come in. Just to piggyback off of what Andre was saying, you know, in terms of the NSFs and stuff like that, just having NSFs won't put you in a position not to receive a loan. Lenders look at the amount of NSFs they have, right? You know, every lender has a certain cap on how much would be per month as well, because they want to make sure that you're going to be able to make the payments. That's exactly right. When they're going for their money, the money
you want to know it's going to pass. Yeah.
Right. And they want to know the type of NSFs, because, you know, that's a big thing. Are you missing payments on your lease? Are you missing payments on your rent, wherever you are? This is huge. This is like an automatic decline, because if you are missing payments from the place that you're doing business, you could lose that place. Anything could happen at that place. It's too risky. Okay. So they look at the risk, just to name a few things. The benefit of working with a company like ours is that we have relationships with multiple lenders, and we know the criteria. We know where to go. Based on your story, we know where to place your loan. We know how to talk with them in order to see if we can get a little more, or to, you know, increase your term, or whatever the case may be. Right. we'll be able to advocate on their behalf. It's sort of like working with a mortgage broker as opposed to just going directly to the bank.
Yes, that's exactly what I was
Yeah.
getting. That's exactly how it was filtering in my mind. And it's like, and the fact that, like you had said, we're your clients. So you're advocating on behalf, you're shopping around to see where we get the best bang for our buck. But I
Right.
also appreciate the fact that you're doing, let's say, light consulting. Because I want to say, as a
Yeah.
consultant, you'll assess a person's business and be like, yeah, a loan would help you guys, or right now, it could be a bad idea. So I think
Right.
that's a huge service.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, and based on what the results are that we get back from the underwriting team, we could tell them how to fix that situation to get in 2 to 3 months from now. So we never say, okay, good riddance, we can't help you, bye, never call us back again.
Right.
We'll tell you, listen, this is the situation right now, but we'll follow up with you in 3 months. This is what you need to do in order to put yourself in a good position. That's free of charge. We're letting you know what exactly is affecting your credit, what exactly is affecting your chances of getting working capital, and you're getting like free consultation at that point. So even if you don't get the money, you're still getting value, which is very important.
So all right, so let's walk our listeners through the process. So now I have my business. I am at a point now. I have a huge opportunity. I have an order that came in. I'm tight on the cash. I need some cash to be able to purchase the inventory that I need to be able to get it out. My credit is decent. My payments are good. I've been in business for about a year. This is a great op for me. Now, what I do? What's the next step? How do I connect? And what's the process we're going to go through?
So what happened from there is I would send you a 1-page application, a digital application. It takes 2 minutes to fill out.
Okay.
And then I only need the last 6 months of your bank statements.
Okay.
That's it. Everything else, I take care of it for you.
Personal or business bank statements?
The business ones, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And now this has been coming up a lot, and I don't know if it's something you guys have encountered or if you have anything for it. But people who are in like a digital space, right, where let's say they have a product it's selling, but with a bit of marketing capital to put into like some social media ads, they could generate more because they'll get more clicks per or whatever be the case, or things like that. Do you guys consider financing things like that, or is it more like it has to be something tangible, physical?
Absolutely, because that's marketing. And here's the thing: a lot of these lenders understand the digital age. Like marketing is no longer in a corporate room anymore. The marketing is on Instagram. The marketing is on Facebook, buying ads on Google. So these are things now that the industry has changed with time, and so that would definitely be a very good reason for acquiring working capital.
Yeah. So the working capital, just to be clear, can be used for anything, business related or not, as long as the business can sustain the loan.
The payment.
The payments.
Okay.
Even we've even sorry to cut you off, Kaleel, but like even we've had situations where people just need $20,000 for cash flow just to make sure their payroll is taken care of.
Right. Yeah.
We know that without that 20,000, you'd be in trouble, but it's part of business. Sometimes you need that cash injection in order to make it through the next 3 months until your high season comes around. So these are all valid reasons. I don't want people to think like, okay, my reason is not good enough. I shouldn't contact these guys. I've been in this industry where a merchant straight up told me, listen, I'm getting this money to buy a helicopter. Now, of course, I did not go back to the underwriters and tell them that. But when you look at their bank statements, I can gauge, okay, this guy could handle it. He has hundreds of thousands of dollars in surplus on his balance in his bank account. He could handle a $30,000 loan.
Right.
But he just wanted it. He was probably going to do some tax write-off. Some of these merchants are very, financially inclined, but I've heard it all. I've heard every reason you could think of in the book.
Okay.
And some of these merchants we funded. So
you see. Okay, so now I know where I could get my helicopter through you guys if I need. Thank you. I was trying to figure that out. Good.
It's numbers based at the end of the day. It's what we can see. A lot of businesses, they make a lot of revenue, but they don't put it in their bank account. They just have cash.
Right.
Or it comes down to what we can prove. What can the lenders see that you're actually making that's actually going into your account. And that would be taken into account when, coming up with the number of loans that you'll be taking.
Okay.
Right? So.
Okay, I love this. So we go through the form, then we'll go through the process. So that's straightforward. So now, before we give people contact information, I want to know, I'm putting you guys on the spot because I'm putting myself in the mind of the potential client or consumer who might need to come to you guys for some assistance. If you could give me some things to consider, some things to think about when wanting to approach you guys for funding.
I would say make sure your credit is on point. These types of loans are more revenue based, and some lenders look at credit a little less than others, or, in context, or would take lower scores than others. The lower your score is, unfortunately, the more you're going to pay.
Okay.
That's just the bottom line, right? So making sure that your credit is on point, when taking these types of loans, the numbers we're going to make sure that the numbers make sense, right? So credit, making sure that, there's no negative balances on your account when it closes out at the end of the day, at the end of the month, that you have a positive balance.
The other thing I would like to add to that too is, since COVID, we're seeing a lot of e-com businesses emerge. The only piece of advice I would give, along with everything Kaleel said, is just the thing is, when people go into e-com, they do a lot of e-transfers.
Yeah.
They get paid to their personal account, then they transfer it to the business account. We've seen situations like this. I would encourage people, if you can, get a credit card or some type of processing company where you have a debit machine, or like you have some type of back end set up on your website, so that the transactions can be tracked. Because another thing with the lenders, they want to make sure that all of the revenue coming into the account could actually be proven as sales. So if it's just like you're just transferring money and it just says e-transfer, there's no way for me to actually prove. I'd probably believe you, but there's no way for me to prove that those are actually transactions and you're just not getting money from some alternative source to look like you have it, So those are things sometimes I've seen people that have really good credit. They have a lot of sales, a lot of e-transfers, but then they don't get the rate that is conducive to their business or the amount they want because the underwriters cannot prove their sales. So things like this.
Also, thin credit. You might have good credits. Maybe you have one credit card, but you don't have enough credit facilities like a line of credit, or, credit cards, like one or two, like two, a car loan, stuff like that, that kind of prove that you can make payments, revolving credit, like that kind of thing. So someone could have good credit, but they call it a thin profile. Okay. So, that's something to consider. But all that being said, bring your file. We'll assess it. We'll have that conversation with you. We don't charge for our services, and we'll be able to tell you where you are, what you need to do to get on the path to getting funding.
It's free to find out. In a lot of cases, there's no hard pull on your credit. We're basically giving you free information for free.
Right.
I would like to just add, in our community, there's a stigma about accepting or taking loans for whatever reason, because of the predatory practices that have been ongoing, like throughout generations and so forth. I think the key is becoming educated on the systems, educated on the options that are out there. A lot of things have changed, and there's representation.
I'm sure it's better when somebody you already know is calling you to be like, hey, yeah, I'm reaching out because this is where I'm at, and this has come up, and I could use a hand here and there, rather than somebody just coming out of the blue and saying, hey, I need this. So that's why I really want to encourage people to establish your relationships, create the bonds, connect with you guys.
Exactly.
So now how do they reach you? How? Where?
So we can be reached on our website, www.ampdcapital.com, or you can call us directly, 1-855-846-2673.
Is that toll free? Is that
toll free? We have a local Ontario number as well, but
and if you can repeat the number again, people, they're listening, some of them are in the car and they're like, whoa, you said that quick.
It's 1-855-846-2673.
846-2673.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. So guys, this is again, you're creating opportunity in the community that we need, especially in the times that we're in right now. It's we're in some transitional times. We're in some uncomfortable times for some people. So this is like being able to get access to capital to create opportunities for yourself and to be able to, you know, if you need to, you need that life jacket, you need that lifesaver, so to speak. Now is the time, and now you have the opportunity, you have the connection. Before we close out our interviews, I always like to have our guests leave our listeners with some empowering words. As you guys know, this is the Empowering Hour. This is the Empower Hour. So, do you guys have some empowering words you'd like to leave with our guests today?
That's if there's one thing I could encourage our people in is make that first step. Whatever the first step is, just make the first step. Whatever, you know, God has placed in your heart, whatever talents, giftings, abilities He's given unto you, even if it's 1,000 steps to get there, just take the first step and create momentum. Momentum will follow you as you take every additional step.
Thank you. Well said.
Thank you.
Was it collective, or Brother Kaleel, you have one too?
I would say just feel the fear and do it anyway. Whatever you're like, you know that you're supposed to do, but you're not doing because you're afraid to step out. You know, do it anyway. Go after your dreams. Go after, you know, I know it seems cliche, go after your dreams, but go after your dreams, man. You know, we live once. And you know, you don't want to live a life of regret. You know, today's the youngest day we'll ever be. And you know, tomorrow's not promised. So we got to do what we got to do today.
Woo! I love that. And again, it's in line with what we talk about here on the Empower Hour, because we're always encouraging the community to live, do, like, especially in these times of COVID taught us anything, it was to live your life, is to like, you get a vibe, you get a feeling, do it. Like, do not hold back, do not put it off till tomorrow, because like Brother Kaleel just said, it is not promised. So you definitely want to take advantage of what you can today. Take those leaps of faith, like we say, just, you know, so think outside the box and take that leap. And if you need some financing, you know where to go.
Exactly.
Brother Kaleel, Brother Andre, I thank you guys again for being guests today on Parley with the People. Again, we're honored to have you guys as members of the OFC. Thank you for blessing our listeners today on the Empower Hour.
I just wanted to say real quick, we already funded, you know, someone from the OFC. So, you know, one of our clients now. So, you know, don't be afraid. We don't bite.
Hey, that's what it is. I love that. And you know, I love the feel good stories, and I love the positive feedback. And this is, guys, this is what we do as a community. The OFC, we are here to bridge, we are here to vouch, we are here to, you know, introduce you all to people within the community who share the same visions and same values as you. And we're glad to be of service to the community. So again, listeners, I thank you all for participating. Like I had mentioned at the beginning of the show, remind you guys now at the end, please go to earthnation.online and please let your voices be heard, whether you agree or disagree. We have a petition going on now. We are advocating for your mental health. So please check it out and share it with a friend. Greatly appreciated.
Kings and queens, this was the Empower Hour with Pharaoh Freeman, Queen Kaya, and Gina the Great. We are on live every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. and broadcasting Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. on CKUT 90.3 FM. Hopefully you got your dose of entertainment, enlightenment, and empowerment. Subscribe and watch us on empowermtl.com and email us at empowermtl@gmail.com to anonymously be featured on our What's the Tea Mail segment. Stay blessed, black, and highly favored.